Hey everyone, welcome back to the Jay's Fifth Down podcast. I'm your host, Jay. And I'm here today with Coach Ben Reaves, a head football coach at Milton High School here in Georgia, in Atlanta. Coach, we thank you for coming on the podcast to talk some ball with us this morning.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. Happy to do it. Happy to talk ball and talk Milton football.
Yes, sir. So how are you doing, Coach? How's everything going with you? How are you doing?
Yeah, so, personally, my life is just crazy right now. I've got a 2.5-year-old and a 3-month-old. Actually, Monday of Mill Creek semifinal week, my second son, Riley, was born. So that was a fun start to that week. But it's crazy in the Reaves household right now, just, with 2 small kids and tons of energy and bottles and lack of sleep. But, we're making it. And then from a football perspective, things are going great here as well. Kids are working hard. Lifts are going amazing. Having a really good offseason so far. Got most of the team, running track, playing baseball, some type of spring sport. So that's definitely something we believe in here. So, no complaints so far, man. Just got to keep it rolling and keep it going smooth.
Absolutely. Good deal. So can you give us a little bit of background on how you got into coaching football and, how you ended up at Milton? So I just want to, hear how that all played out.
Yeah, so I joke all the time that I'm in my 15th year of the profession, but, my 33rd year of coaching because I grew up on a football field. My dad, he was a head coach. He's actually still coaching in the state of Georgia. He keeps trying to retire, but schools keep roping him back in, for a halftime job. So, who knows when that day will come when he finally gives it up. But I've just always been around the high school game, specifically Georgia, and just, fell in love with it at an early age. I saw the impact that he had on kids. I saw that, I'd be shooting basketball in my driveway on a weekend and guys that used to play for him would pull up and say, hey, and, just hang out with them. And so just that bond and that impact was something that I always wanted to have. And, furthermore, I had the time of my life playing high school football and I miss it. You don't realize, just how precious those moments are until they're gone. And, this is one of the ways that I can stay connected to it. Still get those chills every Friday night, when the lights flip on. So just always knew that I wanted to do that and never had any doubts about it. My coaching career started off in South Georgia for a year. Then I moved down to Bradenton, Florida for 2 years, and then ended up coming back to the Atlanta area where I wound up at Collinsville High School. I was there for 6 years. And then after my 6th year there, that's when, Coach Clack and I connected, and he was doing the head coach and the OC and the play calling deal, and he was ready to take that off his plate. So I was able to get with him in 2017. We started our journey here at Milton, and I was the OC quarterback coach up until last January when I took over as the head coach.
Yeah. You mentioned the high school football. It's nothing like it. Friday nights, I just remember it feels like it was just yesterday. I miss those times. Currently a college student myself. I'm at Georgia State. I played football from my 5 years old all the way up to senior year of high school. So here in Georgia. So it's the time you never are gonna get back. It's very fun.
That's right. And it's, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to get back to Georgia, because the school I was at in Florida, I'd walk the hallways on Friday, ask students, are you coming to the game? And they'd be like, what game? I'm like, what are you talking about? The football game, and it's not like that up here. Everybody knows what's going on Friday night, and everybody's going to try to get there. And you mentioned Georgia State. Got to give a shout out to my guy, Cameron Dye, who's a Milton alum that's on the team. So I just want to say what's up to him.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And like you said, it's just nothing like it. I mean, everybody's going to be heading to the game. It's just different in Georgia. High school football, I think it's just different here.
For sure.
I love it. It's the rush. It's amazing. It's getting under the lights and competing. Not just with your teammates, but your brothers as well. So that's the big part of it that I like. So
that's right.
But you guys went 10-4 this past season. You lost, of course, in the semifinals to Mills Creek, and if you had to just recap the season for you. I mean, how would you do so? What you like, what you didn't like. How would you do that?
Yeah, it was a special season, not just because it was my first year as the head coach, but I really feel like last year solidified Milton football as a program and just solidified who we're about and how we do things. We've had a lot of success here since 2017. We first got to Milton as a staff, and Milton, I think, had won 3 playoff games going back to 1950 when they first started playing football. We've since then won a state title and state runner-up and semifinals 3 out of the last 5 years. So, going back to last season, we come off the loss to a really good Collinsville team, and we lose 95% of our starters. Levius Overton, he's graduating a year early to go play at Texas A&M. So, you get a new head coach, the whole team leaves. Everybody was counting us out. And I made sure that first team meeting, I set the tone of we're not rebuilding. This isn't a rebuilding phase. We don't do that at Milton. We reload. And I told them I fully expect to reload this season and have a great year. And ever since then, all the chirping we heard about what we didn't have just motivated that team even more to show what they did have. And I credit a lot of it to just the group of seniors we had, just tremendous leaders, guys that just love Milton football and decided that they were not going to let the program down. They were going to pull their weight and keep this thing going like we've had it. And, but from a program stance, new head coach, new team, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new region, everything was new, and we still make it to the semifinals. So the process that we have here and the beliefs and the culture that we have here works because you've inserted all types of new variables into what we do, and the result was still the same. And a lot of that was done back to when Coach Clack got here. He established that foundation, and when I took over, he and I were very aligned, and there's many things that I continue to do that he did. And, that's my goal moving forward is just to continue to build off of that and take this program to whatever heights I can take it to. But looking back at the schedule, we lost 4 football games. We lost to the Tennessee State champ, who wound up to be, I think, number 9 in the country in Lipscomb Academy. We lost to Christian Brothers, who was the Missouri State champ in their classification. We lost to a really good North Cobb team. And then we lost to Mill Creek, the Georgia State champ. So, our goal as coaches is just to take our team to whatever ceiling that team has. And it's not a state championship every year. That's just the reality. But we want to walk off that field knowing that we reached our ceiling. We worked as hard as we could work. We did all that we could do. We maximized every ounce of what we had. And we definitely had that feeling walking off the field last year after that Mill Creek loss.
Yeah. And I like how you mentioned the culture, setting the tone, right? Like you said, you guys lost a lot of players, and then new staff and everything, new head coach. And now it's just a matter of, hey, you know what? We're not, this isn't, like you said, a rebuilding. This is reloading, and this, I think, is really important, when you have that meeting to let everybody know, hey, you know what? This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to work. We're going to continue to just fight and compete. We go out there and play 4 quarters of football, every week, and that's how it should be, So I do commend you for that, on how, for setting that tone so early. That's people don't understand how important that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Extremely. So, how would you say, Coach, your relationship with Christ plays a role in your life on and off the field?
Say it one more time. Sorry, you broke up a little bit.
I said, how would you say your relationship with Christ plays a role in your life on and off the field?
My relationship with Christ?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so obviously, there's boundaries that you have to set because just the public school and religion and that type of thing, you got to know where the line is, especially nowadays. And there's many different viewpoints and religions out there, and I try to do the best I can to incorporate everybody and make everybody feel comfortable. But yes, from my standpoint, being a believer, I try to use my platform, to whatever abilities or heights I can, and put these kids around the best mentors and followers that I possibly can, and just give them opportunities to go see and hear and better themselves, just from a religious standpoint. But it's something that as a believer, that it's what you owe everything to. And so it keeps me humble in the fact of everything that I'm doing is not me doing it, right? It's not me. It's opportunities and talents and positions that I've been given, that I've been put in, by higher power. So just try to do the best job that I can do to honor that, and the best job that I can do to lead by example and help, as many kids as I can in their own personal journey.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, right? Just building leaders of men, right? Yeah. That's the thing about it. That's what I love about football, man. It's a fun sport, but it also teaches you core values.
For sure.
I feel like being, again, leadership and brotherhood and just mental toughness, especially that being super important. Can you speak on how crucial that is, in this game?
Yeah, so it's, you pretty much just hit on all of our core values, our team culture. We use the acronym BET, and it stands for brotherhood, effort, and toughness. So we talk about brotherhood. I got my brother on today.
Right.
The one thing that I take pride in about our team culture is I make sure that it's not only relatable on the football field, but it's relatable as they get into the game of life. So we talk about brotherhood, playing for the guy to the left, to the right of you, playing for the guys that came before you, the guys that will come after you. And just from a life translation, that's family, right? You get into your family and you're playing for those people in your household and the people that came before you and the generations that will come after you. We get to effort, specifically we use the word relentless effort, but for the sake of the E, shorten it to effort. That's emptying the tank. We ask them every Friday night, hey, go out, empty the tank, give me all you got towards our goal, and let's see where it gets you. Life translation, we got to go empty the tanks with our jobs, to seek and achieve those goals that we have for ourselves and to see where it gets us. Toughness, competitive toughness, attacking every situation that you can with the same mindset, no matter what stands in front of you, right? So if I'm trying to tackle a guy that's 9 feet tall, I'm going to attack him with the same enthusiasm as if I'm trying to tackle a guy that's 4 feet tall. It doesn't change. My effort, my mindset doesn't change. I attack it with the same mindset. And then fast forward to life translation, you're going to be put in front of some giants in life, some tasks that seem overwhelming, some situations and circumstances that seem overwhelming, but you got to attack those just like you do the good times. So those are the 3 core values that we preach and harp on. And, I try to make sure every year I do a good job of making sure the kids know that's not just a football deal. That's a life deal, and something that those lessons can help you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, definitely. And, like you said, it's something that it just translates to life. You just have to get up every day. Just, I say always, every day is another opportunity. Go out there and go make it great. Every day is a chance to get better, right? So that's the big thing about it. So, Coach, you can talk about what would you say are your offensive, defensive, and special team philosophies here at Milton, and what you guys pride on those 3 bases and how important they are, and crucial they are to your success.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I'm blessed and thankful that I have 3 amazing coordinators, and they're guys that I trust. And just going back to that brotherhood that we just talked about, I trust them to do their job. They trust me to do my job, and I let them have ownership on what they do, go and run with it. I'm not the type that going to butt in or, write stuff on the board and mandate that we do this or that. Ultimately it's my job to give a overall philosophy for that game, because offense, defense, special teams, they all have to work together. Yep. And just depending on what another team has in their arsenal, we'll kind of adjust our aggressiveness on offense or defense or special teams just to make sure that we're taking advantage of that, but also that all three units are working together. But, the good news is I'm completely aligned, obviously, with the philosophies of our coordinators. Special teams, it's not just something that we have to run out there and do because it's within the rules. We try to use it as a weapon. Yeah. We've won a lot of games. We've won a lot of games and, a lot of big moments due to some special teams plays. So we really take that mindset of we're going to have our best kids on special teams and we're going to scheme it up to the best of our ability and put the time and effort into it because it's going to separate us in some big games and separate us with some teams that we don't play. Defensively, we got Coach David Willingham, does an amazing job. And, man, it's let's run to the ball fast. Let's make it chaotic, change it up so the quarterback has to think a lot and just out effort the other team and tackle. And I know that sounds, just basic, but it's really not because you don't see every team doing it. But he does such a good job of not only reinforcing tackling, but just running to the ball, 11 hats to the ball, because good things will happen. And, if we can tackle a guy on the 1 yard line, we still have a shot to keep them out. They haven't scored yet. We still have a shot to force them to take 3 instead of 7. So just the effort and the intensity really matches the aggressiveness of his scheme. And I love it. He does a great job. Our defense was hell on wheels last year and, looking forward to watching it again this year. And then offensively, Coach Jackson, man, he's had to work with so many different pieces at quarterback, at receiver throughout his career as a coordinator. He's just fully versed on how to move the ball and how to score points no matter what he has in his arsenal. So there's literally nothing that, he can't figure out how to do. It doesn't matter who we have. Maybe we have an injury. He's going to have an answer. And that's what makes him so special is he's a problem solver and he can figure out anything because stuff comes up every Friday night to where I've got a play clock rolling. And we got to keep the ball moving and so-and-so's got to come out of the game or so-and-so's hurt. And those are those moments that if you're not prepared for them or if you can't solve problems, that a game can really tank. And, he's well-versed in doing that. But from a schematic standpoint, so knowledgeable, believes in balance, believes in spreading the ball out, believes in making the defense cover the entire field, and believes in just playing to our strengths. People ask me all the time, what kind of offense do you run? I said, I don't know. What kind of players do we have, right? Our is going to evaluate our players, our talent, their strengths, their weaknesses, and then Coach Jackson is going to build an offense around that. And, may change year to year, but the players change year to year. And we want to make sure that we highlight those players and the strengths of this year's team. And I know that he'll do a great job of doing that.
Yeah, it's important. You mentioned carrying your offense, your defense, whatever the case might be, to the best abilities of your players that you have on your roster, and that's important to be able to do that because when you're able to do that, it's going to lead to success because you're matching, what you're running, your schemes to your players' talents, and that's a really good thing to do. You mentioned special teams; it can win you some games, it can lose you some games. So that's extremely. I feel like people they really underrate like the value of special teams on it.
That's right.
It's extremely important because you kick the ball to the fastest guy on the field, he's going to take it back. That's a huge momentum swing.
Sure.
When you drop a punt, and it's huge. But what would you say, Coach, throughout your time being a football coach, and then of course being the head man there at Milton, is the hardest thing about coaching these kids today specifically? You got social media, playing a huge presence, and things like that. What would you say is the most challenging thing about coaching, now in this age?
Just, teaching them to tune out the voices. They have so many voices that are in their ear, whether it's at home, on social media, a trainer, a friend, there's there's so many voices telling them what they should be doing, what we should be doing at Milton. And, you know, some of them buy into, I'm not doing enough. We need to do things differently. And my biggest message to them is tune it out and just trust us as coaches, trust us as a program, because, you know, look at what we've done. Look at the success that we've had. We know the process of what it takes to be a great high school football player, and no disrespect to those people that are in your inner circle, but just keep in mind that they're not in the field house with us every day. They're not on the football field with us every day. You know, the guys are here. The coaches that are here are the ones that know what's going on. They know why we're doing certain things, and the guys on the outside just don't. So do your best to zone in, trust us, tune out all the noise, and just let us lead you, let us guide you, and we're going to take care of you and try to do everything we can to help you achieve your goals and your dreams.
Yeah, it's most important, you know, just focusing on what you have in the house, what's going on that field, because you and your players, your coaches, you're the only ones that, you know, you go out there, you grind every single day at practice and on Friday nights, you know, so you know what it takes to run your program and how for it to be successful and what you guys have done. So, you know, I just wanted to get your opinion on that, because I feel like now this time, you know, it's just, you got Twitter and, you know, and all this, that's a huge one, you know, comparison and things like that, which is very bad, you know. Real quick, how important is it to not compare? You know, is that something that you preach to your players too? Like, you know, other players' stats and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I tell them, believe it or not, everything you read on the internet isn't true. Yeah. And there's a lot of misinformation out there, whether it's just due to camps or offers or what you should be doing. You know, you can post whatever you want to post with pretty much no consequence, you know, to an extent. And it's, you know, what's real, what's not. And I tell our kids, make sure that before you start feeling some type of way, let's talk about it. Let's fact check it. And then after we do that, we do talk about the importance of, okay, now that is their situation. Let's talk about your situation. Let's focus on you, because every moment that you're focused on someone else and what they're doing, you're not focused on you and you're not focused on your goals. And, the tough part about the comparison game is just there's so many factors that both sides don't even really know about. You know, let's look at, points per game on offense. Man, you know, this school's averaging 40 points per game and Milton's averaging 28 points per game. It'd be easy for us to get caught up in that comparison, but let's start looking at schedules. Who are they playing? Who are we playing? Let's start looking at just overall mindset of we have all three phases working together. Offensively, were we trying to be a little more conservative for a couple of games as opposed to they were just going and getting it? So point being, within the comparison game, there's so many factors that we don't even know about that could lead to different results. So to your point, the best thing to do is just continue to focus on you, continue to focus on reaching your ceiling. And at the end of the day, let's just see whose ceiling is higher and see where it gets, both entities.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you only control what you can control.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
it.
That's it.
It's that simple.
It really is. It really is.
I mean, you control what you can control. You know, you go out there, you play to the best of your ability, you coach to the best of your ability, and what happens, will happen. As long as you know that you're giving 100% effort each and every day. That's something that's how I was coached. And that's that's what I truly believe in. I believe that's how successful teams are ran, and that's how they move ball games. So very important things. But Coach, we appreciate you coming on the podcast today and giving us some insight into the Milton football program, and just want to wish you guys luck this upcoming season. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I had a great time. Appreciate you having me, and love to come back on another time and talk more about it.
Yes, we'll definitely have you back on, Coach. But this has been the Jason Down Podcast. I'm here with Coach Ben Reaves at Milton High School. I want to thank him for coming on, and make sure you guys check us out, YouTube, all the podcast platforms. We're there, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you again, Coach.
You got it. Thank you.
Of course.